There are days when the world feels too heavy, when silence grows loud and peace seems far away, but a dog can shift the weight in a heartbeat. Their quiet loyalty, their gentle eyes, the simple sound of paws, each moment invites you to breathe again. Discover 20 ways your dog gives you comfort and strength, without ever saying a word. Ready to see the hidden gifts you already live with every day? 20. They make heavy days lighter. There are days when everything feels like too much. The inbox grows, the to-do list talks back, and your chest forgets how to loosen. Then your dog settles beside you, warm and steady, as if they know where the knot lives. They do not offer advice. They do not ask for explanations. They just match your breathing until yours remembers how to slow down. Did you notice how your shoulders drop when their head finds your knee? It is not magic. It is two nervous systems listening to each other. Researchers have seen it in simple moments with dogs, where stress chemistry starts to quiet and people report feeling more in control. But you do not need a lab to prove what you feel when a tail thumps once and the room softens. Your dog turns the volume down on the day without touching the dial. Maybe the problem is still there. Maybe the world still asks a lot. Yet with a warm body pressed against yours, it suddenly feels like something you can carry. Isn't it a relief to be reminded that lightness can arrive without a single word? 19. They turn a house into a home. A house is paint and walls and places things go. A home is the sound of paws greeting the morning and the small sigh that means everyone can rest now. Your dog fills the space between rooms with presence. They wait by the door, not because the door is special, but because you are. They learn the path your feet take to the kitchen and beat you there by a step. They choose a spot with sun like they know what your heart needs to see when you walk in from a long day. Isn't it funny how a sleeping dog can make a silent room feel full? Some studies suggest that living with animals is linked to calmer routines and a sense of safety, but you probably already know that from the way you breathe when the leash hangs on the hook. Home is not about square feet. It is about belonging. It is the way your dog walks into an empty Sunday, and suddenly the air feels warmer. A home, in the end, is a heartbeat you can hear without trying. 18. They listen without words. There are moments when talking feels like lifting a couch by yourself. You have thoughts, but they are crowded and heavy. Your dog does not ask for the tidy version. They sit close and read the parts you cannot say out loud. Dogs are remarkably tuned to us. Researchers have shown that they can pick up changes in our voices and even detect the scent of stress on our breath. Have you noticed how your dog tilts their head when your tone shifts or leans in when your silence lingers a bit too long? That is listening, just not the kind we learned in school. Your dog listens with their whole body, with soft eyes and a stillness that gives you room to exhale. Isn't it easier to tell the truth when you are not being judged? With them, you can be unfinished, unsure, in progress. They do not need the backstory or the lesson at the end. They stay steady and simple, and somehow the words you were chasing settle on their own. Being heard can sound like nothing at all. 17. They keep you moving. Your dog has a calendar built into their paws. Morning means sniffing. Afternoon means checking the same 3 corners of the block, just in case. Evening means one last loop before bed. Do you notice how your body thanks you after those walks, even the short ones you almost skipped? A large UK study found that dog owners were nearly 4 times more likely to meet daily activity guidelines than people without dogs. Of course they were. Dogs turn movement into a partnership. They do not ask you to be fast, just present. They set a pace that matches the day you have, not the day you wish you had. Some strolls are for stretching, some are for shaking off the day, some are for laughing at nothing in particular. Motion changes mood, steps add up to a lighter mind. And on the days when motivation hides, a wet nose nudging your hand is better than any alarm. Isn't it easier to take care of yourself when someone you love is counting on you to clip the leash? 16. They reduce your stress. Stress is clever. It sneaks in through screens, through schedules, through the tiny gaps between expectations. Your dog has an old simple answer. Touch. Slow routine. Play that does not try to prove anything. In one university study, students who spent just a few minutes petting dogs showed lower stress hormones afterward. That lines up with what so many of us feel at home. When your dog's fur is under your palm, your breathing changes. Your shoulders settle. The loop in your head eases. Do you ever notice how your dog sighs when you do? Like they are following your lead into calm? This is not about escaping life. It is about resetting it. Short, gentle interactions with your dog can help your body shift out of fight or flight and back into a steadier rhythm. A quiet minute on the couch, a slow brush, a silly game that ends with a laugh. None of it fixes the whole day. It just gives your nervous system a place to rest. Sometimes that is all you needed. 15. They invite new friendships. Your dog is a small social bridge with 4 paws. You step outside for a quick walk and come home having learned your neighbor's name, their favorite route, and which baker saves the good bread for late afternoons. Pets are famous icebreakers. Community surveys in several cities have shown that people with pets report more casual conversations, more favors traded on the block, and a stronger sense that they belong where they live. Have you felt that on park benches where a wagging tail turns strangers into people with stories? Your dog makes it easy to start with kindness. You already have something to smile about. The leash in your hand says you are approachable, and the dog at the end of it usually proves it right. Isn't it easier to be brave in public when a friend is beside you, happy to meet whoever comes your way? One hello leads to another. A wave becomes a chat. Before long, your world has more names in it, and the neighborhood feels like a place that notices when you are gone and welcomes you back when you return. 14. They strengthen your empathy. Living with a dog is a slow class in understanding. You start to notice small signals you used to miss. The lick that means uncertainty, not hunger. The yawn that asks for a break, not a nap. You learn to read a tale the way others read a paragraph. Isn't it interesting how that training spills over into the rest of your life? Research in families and schools has found links between caring for animals and practicing empathy, especially in kids who learn to be responsible and gentle. It makes sense. Every day you adjust your plans to meet a being who cannot speak your language, yet communicates clearly if you pay attention. You practice patience at the door, respect on the walk, and kindness when the world is loud for them. Bit by bit, your heart gets better at listening elsewhere too. You wait longer before jumping in. You ask different questions. You remember that every person you meet has a whole inner world, the way your dog does. Loving a dog is not just affection. It is training for bigger love. 13. They celebrate small joys. Your dog does not need fireworks to be thrilled. A familiar voice, a squeaky toy that finally squeaks again, the echo of your footsteps heading toward the leash. They treat ordinary moments like good news. Do you let yourself do the same? There is a reason people smile more when a dog enters the room. Joy is contagious, and dogs are experts in passing it along. The science is simple here. Positive emotions shift our attention, help our bodies release tension, and make the day feel more workable. Your dog finds these little sparks without trying. They wag for the first ray of sun on the rug, for the chance to sit beside you while you tie your shoes, for the grand adventure of the mailbox. Watching them is a reminder that we can mark the tiny wins too. The email is sent. The dish is washed. 5 quiet minutes before the next thing. Life is not only big moments, it is a collection of small ones worth noticing. What if you let yourself wag a little more often? 12. They give you peace, simply by being. Peace can feel like something you have to earn. Finish enough, fix enough, then maybe rest. Your dog disagrees. They offer calm without the checklist. Sit with them for a minute and feel how the room slows down. Some studies have found that people with pets can show lower heart rates and steadier blood pressure during stressful tasks, especially when the pet is present. You probably do not need the numbers to trust what your body already knows. When your dog is nearby, your edges soften. You remember that you do not have to hold everything all at once. Isn't it kind that they ask for nothing in return except that you be here, in this moment? Peace is not a reward. It is a practice. Your dog is good at inviting you into it. A quiet breath together. A hand resting on warm fur. The wordless agreement that this minute is enough. And somehow, after that, the next minute is easier too. 11. They teach patience. Patience is not just waiting. It is how you wait. Your dog teaches that lesson every day. Training is not a straight line. Some cues land quickly. Others take weeks. Doors open when everyone is ready, not just when you are in a hurry. Have you noticed how your dog watches your face to see which version of you showed up today? They mirror what you bring to the moment. If you breathe and try again, they do too. There is research showing that consistent, low-stress training helps dogs learn faster and bond more deeply. It turns out that calm is efficient. When you switch from frustration to curiosity, progress sneaks in. A sit becomes a stay. A stay becomes trust. Beyond training, patience shows up in little rituals. Waiting for the bowl to touch the floor, pausing at the curb before crossing, giving them time to sniff that one patch of grass like it holds a secret. Isn't it freeing to discover that slow can be effective and gentle can be strong? Your dog knew that already. Now you do too. 10. They teach unconditional love. Unconditional love sounds like a big promise until you meet it wagging its tail. Your dog does not ask you to perform. They do not keep score. They do not pause their affection to check whether you earned it today. They simply arrive, exactly as they are, and invite you to do the same. Have you noticed how they lean into you on the days you feel least lovable, as if to say the terms have never changed? We spend so much time trying to improve, to optimize, to chase the better version of ourselves. Your dog reminds you that love does not wait at the finish line. It sits on the floor beside your shoes while you tie them. It follows you from room to room, not because you are perfect, but because you are theirs. Even research has a soft side here. When we look into a dog's eyes, both of us release more oxytocin, the same hormone that helps parents bond with babies. No spreadsheet can measure what that moment means, but your chest knows. Unconditional love is not loud or grand. It is ordinary and steady. It is the same welcome every morning and the same forgiveness every night. Who else teaches that as patiently as a dog? 9. They sense your moods. You can fake a smile for a meeting. You cannot fake it for your dog. They read the tiny pauses, the shift in your voice, the way your shoulders float higher when the day gets tight. Have you seen how they pad over quietly when a silence goes on a beat too long? Dogs are keen observers of us. Researchers have shown they can distinguish between relaxed human breath and breath collected during stress, simply by scent. There is also evidence that our long-term stress levels can sync with theirs like a subtle duet measured in hair cortisol over months. That sounds technical, but you know the feeling. When you unwind, they unwind. When you pace, they follow until you sit, then they exhale with you. Isn't it strange and kind to be understood without an explanation? You do not have to process out loud to be comforted. Your dog listens with posture and presence. They come closer, then closer again, until your hand finds fur and your nervous system remembers a calmer rhythm. You are not an unsolved problem to them. You are a person they love, who needs company. That is often all the translation anyone needs. 8. They show you wonder. Wonder hides in plain sight. Your dog is very good at finding it. The same sidewalk becomes a new chapter every morning, full of notes you would have missed without a nose to translate them. Do you ever slow down to see what they see? To notice how a single leaf can be a discovery? Dogs invite us back to beginner's mind. They make boredom harder to find. Even simple changes help. People who walk dogs tend to spend more time outdoors, and time outside often improves mood, sleep, and perspective. You feel it on the quiet streets after rain, when the world smells like a fresh start. Your dog pauses at a fence post for what feels like forever, and something inside you softens into patience. There is no need to rush past this ordinary miracle. Curiosity is not only for books and big questions. It is for puddles that reflect the sky, for puddles that insist on being splashed, for the long look across a field that makes your breath slow. When was the last time you let a small thing be enough? With a dog as your guide, the answer is probably today. 7. They remind you you're not alone. Loneliness can creep in even when the room is full. It is an inside feeling, a quiet ache that says you do not quite belong. Your dog interrupts that story. They follow you from sofa to sink, from desk to door, like a small, steady tether to another heartbeat. Have you noticed how the house sounds different when they are not in it? How the quiet is sharper? Many older adults report feeling less lonely when they share life with a pet, and it fits what we see every day. A dog gives you reasons to step outside, to nod at the neighbor, to wave at the runner who always turns at the same corner. They also give you permission to need someone. Isn't that the soft part we forget? That it is okay to be attached? Your dog does not shame you for it. They celebrate it. Their presence says you belong to someone, and someone belongs to you. That is not small. It is one of the oldest human comforts. When a nose nudges your hand or a body settles at your feet, the room changes shape. You are not alone. You never were. 6. They bring laughter in small surprises. Your dog is a comedian with perfect timing and no script. They misjudge a leap and land with dignity. They mistake a sock for treasure and parade it like a trophy. They chase a shadow they will never catch, then celebrate the attempt. Do you let yourself laugh out loud when they do something ridiculous, or do you try to keep the moment tidy? Joy thrives on permission. Laughter lowers tension, pulls shoulders down, and unclenches jaws. Dogs are specialists here. They nudge us toward the silly side of life. You cannot hold a grudge and giggle at the same time. The brain is not built for that. A playful minute is not a distraction from real life. It is a reset that makes the rest of life easier to hold. Watch how your dog checks your face after a joke of their own making, waiting for the smile. They are not asking for applause, they are asking if you felt it too, that flicker of lightness that changes a room. Isn't it nice to be reminded that delight can be small, honest, and completely free? 5. They stand by you in hard times. Hard times have their own gravity. They pull you inward, slow everything down, and make words heavy. Your dog does not argue with that gravity. They sit with you inside it. For some people facing trauma, trained service dogs have been linked with lower symptoms and better daily functioning. But even dogs without special training know how to stay. Have you noticed how they choose the floor beside your chair on the days you wish you could vanish? How they follow you from room to room as if to keep the thread from breaking? There is courage in that quiet loyalty. They do not fear your tears. They do not try to hurry you through them. They keep watch while you rest and rise again. Isn't it easier to face a hard season when someone witnesses it with you? Your dog is good at keeping that kind of watch. The kind that does not demand or distract. The kind that says you are still you, even now. The world can be rough. Your dog knows this and stays anyway. Sometimes that is the most healing thing anyone can do. And now, before we move on, just know that if you visit happydogsplace.com/gift, you can download a free guide packed with tips to make your dog's life even happier. It's full of fun ideas, helpful strategies, and all the basics every pup needs to thrive. 4. They help keep your heart healthy. Your dog is not a doctor, but your heart often treats them like one. Daily walks stack up into stronger routines. Play breaks reduce the pressure that builds between tasks. Even simple companionship seems to matter. Large reviews of medical records have found that people who live with dogs have a lower risk of dying from heart disease, roughly a third less in some analyses. That is a big number, but it feels believable if you think about how dogs change the rhythm of a day. They get you moving. They make you breathe a little deeper. They help your blood pressure stay in a healthier range. None of this turns life into a guarantee, and it should not. It just tilts the odds in a kinder direction. Have you ever noticed how your pulse steadies when you settle into the couch and your dog finds your lap, as if both of you exhale at once? Health is not only numbers, it is habits, and habits are easier to keep when love is involved. Your dog is a very persuasive reason to choose the walk. 3. They celebrate your return. You are the main event, and you did not even know you were on the schedule. Whether you were gone 5 minutes or 5 hours, your dog greets you like the best part of the day finally arrived. Isn't that the kind of welcome we all secretly want? The one that says you were missed and everything is better now? Their joy is extravagant and pure. No one taught them to hold back. The ritual matters. It cuts the day into 2 clear halves, the before and the now at home. You drop your keys. You drop your shoulders. You are here. Some people create a calm version of the reunion, so the energy does not spike too high. But even a gentle hello carries the same message. You are safe. You are wanted. You are back where you belong. The world outside can keep its hurry. In this room, happiness is simple and repeatable. Your dog has already proven it 100 times. A wag, a spin, a lean into your legs, and suddenly the hallway is a parade. Who else makes a Tuesday evening feel like a holiday? 2. They give you daily structure. Structure is not a cage. It is a rhythm you can count on. Dogs love rhythm, and they share it generously. Breakfast happens, then the morning walk, then the quiet hour when the sun finds the rug. Later there is play, and later still there is the routine that tells everyone it is time to wind down. Do you notice how your days feel more balanced when you keep those gentle anchors? People often sleep better and stress less when their routines have predictable beats, and dogs are natural metronomes for that. They do not need the day to be perfect. They only need it to be honest and clear. Meals arrive when they arrive. Walks happen when they happen. You both learn to trust the pattern more than the mood. That is liberating. On chaotic days, your dog pulls you back to the basics that work. Eat, move, rest, repeat. None of it is fancy, which might be the point. The best kind of structure is humane and flexible. It holds you up without holding you back. Who knew a friend with 4 paws could be such a gentle planner? 1. They make ordinary days sacred. Sacred does not always mean grand. Sometimes it means noticing. Your dog is an expert at that. A morning cuddle that slows time. A shared look at dusk when the sky does its quiet show. The soft sound of paws crossing the hallway right before sleep. Do you ever realize, in the middle of nothing special, that this is the part you will miss someday? Dogs help you name that feeling. They remind you that life is mostly made of small, repeatable wonders, and that repetition is not dull when love is doing the repeating. There is a kind of gratitude that arrives when you pet a familiar head, and the day tilts toward gentle. You do not need a ceremony to honor it, only attention. Some people keep a tiny list of daily moments that felt good, a tail wag's worth of gratitude. The effect is simple. Your mind learns to look for what is already working. Ordinary becomes luminous. Routine becomes ritual. And a Tuesday becomes a day you will carry with you, not because it was flawless, but because you were there for it with the friend who makes everything warmer. Isn't that the closest thing to sacred most of us ever need? Now that we've explored these 20 ways your dog quietly makes life better, keep learning about your furry friend. That's why I recommend you watch this other video popping up on screen. In it, I explain the 60 strangest behaviors of dogs. Believe me, many of them will catch your attention. If you're curious, go watch it next and see how many you recognize.